Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our predictions for Qatar 2022. These games take place, of course, between Sunday, November the 20th, and Thursday, November the 24th. So, unusual that World Cup finals, or the opening match of the World Cup finals, rather, takes place on a Sunday. It normally actually happens on a Friday evening, the opening games, and then we've got a weekend of football. But this time in Qatar, first match taking place on Sunday, of course. The hosts coming up against Qatar. Now, before we actually start on our predictions, just to let you know that there's a lot of warm-up matches taking place this week as well. And there's 4 teams that haven't got any warm-up matches, and that's Brazil, Wales, Iran, and England. Can I just take control of the mouse, Nathan? So, for instance, taking place this evening, you can actually see that Iran lost 2-0 against Tunisia. Argentina, very good warm-up fixture against United Arab Emirates, and the likes of Di Maria have scored a couple of goals there. Lionel Messi and Alvarez of course, Manchester City.
Yeah, Korea getting goals too.
Exactly, yes. So plenty of football leading up to Sunday. Czech Republic, they're not in the finals, are they? And a lot of these are teams that aren't actually taking part. Germany, of course, they are in the finals, beating Oman 1-0. So they are in the Middle East. Poland, of course, they're there. Beating Chile, who aren't there. Of course, Scotland losing against Turkey, etc., etc., etc. So plenty of football, warm-up games before all the action takes place on Sunday. So we'll start off then, Nathan, with Qatar against Ecuador. What can you tell me about this first match, which takes place at the Albat Stadium in Alcor? I think that's how you pronounce it. 7 p.m. No, it's a 4 p.m. kickoff in the UK, I believe. Is that right? Because I know that Wales takes place at 7 p.m. 4 p.m.
That's a bizarre kickoff.
It is, but it might be really hot out there in Qatar, even though they've got these air-conditioned matches.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, to be fair. I mean, Qatar, yes, a lot of people, including myself, have said that they're going to be only the second team in the World Cup to not get out of the group, as in the second ever
the first one, South Africa.
South Africa 2010, yes, that's correct. They're coming up against an Ecuador side who a lot of people are writing off as well. A lot of people have said that they're going to lose this game, but look at the quality. You have Caicedo, Estupinen, in particular from
Brighton, aren't they? Yeah, let's have a quick look at their squad then, Nathan. Apart from those guys, you've got Piero Hincapi from Bayer Leverkusen, and a lot of their players either play in South America or North America. They've got Enio Valencia, who plays for Fenerbahce. Of course, anyone else in there?
Any American fans? Hexon Mendes from LAFC, of course, won the MLS Cup, didn't he? Or Jose Cuventas of LAFC as well. So
your prediction then, Nathan?
Of course, first touch on the Qatar squad. Yes, it's all full of domestic players.
This
one, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a draw.
Yeah.
Normally, the opening game of a World Cup is a draw. Yeah. In most aspects, minus of course Russia, where they absolutely destroyed Saudi Arabia in 2018. I'm going to go 2-1 to Ecuador.
Now, I've been thinking about this all day as well. Now, I was thinking Ecuador have had a very good sort of qualifying campaign, didn't they? So if we look at their qualification, their recent results in qualification, a draw against Argentina, a loss against Paraguay, draw against Peru away from home, a home draw against Brazil. We'll come on to Brazil a little bit later, beating Chile too. So pedigree-wise, they're looking good. Qatar, though, playing like a club side at the moment. They've been in camp for quite a while. So if I actually, if I can even find myself around this website, Qatar, if it comes up, where is their national team? Talk amongst yourselves, guys. You can see that they've actually been playing these. I don't think these are approved FIFA matches, but beating Albania, Panama, Honduras, and Guatemala as well. So
Honduras is a good result. The national team has dropped off like a stone since 2010.
That's correct. But those are all matches. But you look at their recent friendlies: a 2-2 draw against Chile, a loss against Canada, Jamaica a draw, and Slovenia a draw as well. So it's a difficult one. It's going to be the opening match of the tournament. You've gone for an Ecuador win. I am actually going to go. I've changed my mind on this. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one. I'm not going to lock it in just in case I change my mind between now and Sunday. But in the chat, let's just welcome a few people in. Harry Doherty, good evening to you as well. Captain Alastarte, greetings from Mexico. Yes, welcome all the way from Mexico. Thanks for joining us. Always love watching Mexico in the World Cups. I remember watching 1986 when it was held in Mexico. Of course, it's going to be held in Mexico with Canada and USA in 2026. So thank you for joining us this evening. And Malogo, we know you're based in Canada. World Cup's coming to you in 4 years' time. And thanks for the Super Brew. Yeah, incidentally, we are playing along on the Super Brew website. There is a link in the description below, but for you, the league code is DEWYELL. That's DEWYELL. And Harry has gone for a 0-0 draw in his opening fixture, and Koza agrees with a 1-1 draw as well. So, moving on to the Monday fixtures at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we've got England. Gareth Southgate's England coming up against Iran. Nathan, your thoughts, please.
Iran's manager, very, very good manager, probably the best in the group as well. A very unpopular opinion, especially for those England fans who are like, oh, Gareth Southgate's scores and blah, 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 blah. And all that they, especially some of the stuff that came out on TalkSport today. As for England, I hope they play Trent Alexander-Arnold right back, especially against Wales. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. But you have some good attackers in this Iranian side. I think it's Usman from Bayer Leverkusen's a decent player.
Jean-Marc Shah
for Feyenoord.
He's played for Brighton in the Premier League as well.
Yeah, Taremi, I think they've got from Porto's in there. They've got, a lot of their players. They play in Greece as well for likes of AEK Athens. But a lot of also Saman Govas. I don't think he's played that much for Brentford this season, but he's one to watch out for as well. And England, Nathan, we know the array of talent that they've got. Excellent midfield.
Defensively suspect. Eric Dyer, Harry Maguire, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
It depends how they line up, really, isn't it? So
it is concerning. However, I mean, the betting odds on the screen just say it alone.
Yeah.
England usually start off well in the group stage, in particular when they got a little bit of an easy group. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I think it'll be just 2-1 to England, sadly.
Yeah, England normally have no problems qualifying for the likes of the World Cups and European Championships, do they? They're expected to win this group.
Yeah.
All the media and everything always, their expectations to do well. They're thinking of getting to the 16 or the quarterfinals, etc. Coming up against this Iranian side, who are notoriously difficult to break down. Let's have a look at their recent results, if I can still try and work out this website for Iran. So these are the friendlies. Actually, that's still Qatar, isn't it? A little bit slow here. So Iran. We get that on the screen quickly. Their recent results, these are all. So let's have a look at their qualification first of all. So a good results against Lebanon, UAE, Iraq, and Syria. Okay, a loss against South Korea. But friendlies recently as well, Nathan, which pinch of salt, isn't it? And they also lost this evening, haven't they? 2-0.
Algeria, a good side. Uruguay. That's very good, that victory. Depending, obviously.
Yeah, they don't concede a lot of goals. England, though, recent form hasn't been great. But what I can say, James Maddison, if he gets in that team, then he's going to be a real threat. So I'm wondering whether to Is this going to be a draw? I think they're going to... before I give my result, Nathan, what are you saying in this match between England and Iran?
I'm going to sadly say 2-1 England.
2-1 England, yeah?
Yeah.
I am actually going to go... Well, can they break down that? They should do that. They should win this. On paper, they could win this from 3 or 4-0, but I'm actually going to go for another draw. I'm going to go 0-0.
0-0.
0-0. I think it's going to surprise everybody, and it is going to be a 0-0 draw in this game. Back to the chat. Sportscat, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Gone for a 1-0 victory to England. Harry's gone for a 3-0 victory to England. Yeah, I can see this happening if Harry Kane firing on cylinders. Wilson, it's peculiar that they're only taking 2 strikers though. If you get a knock to the likes of Kane, then they're going to have to rely on probably a false 9, somebody like Sterling, or you've got Saka there. Foden can play it as a false 9 as well.
It's quite baffling how Ivan Toney wasn't put in the squad considering his recent form, and then goes and scores 2 against Man City straight after.
That's right. Sport Cat, I'm going to go win the predictions league for World Cup over on Super Brew. We shall see you do. Thanks for joining us on Super Brew campaign with the Premier League and Championship, Sport Cat. Just like I'm first in the Premier League, yeah, congratulations on that. Shane has gone. O'Donnell, welcome back, Shane. 2-1 to England, and Cos has gone for a 1-0 for me. Yeah, am I going for... I don't know. I think this Iranian team could upset the apple cart, but surely England are going to get off to... If you get off to a good start with a victory in this first game, then you just need really a point from your other 2 fixtures to get through to the knockout stage. Anyway, moving on. We're going to go through to Group A. This takes place at 4 o'clock on Monday afternoon, British time. We've got Senegal against Netherlands. Thoughts, Nathan? Especially with Mane.
Yeah, Mane missing. Senegal do have a fairly okay squad, though, however, if we just get back up to the correct screen.
What are you after? Go on.
I'll find it. Not that.
Yeah, Senegal from Africa, of course, taking on Netherlands. Their sort of form does go a little bit topsy-turvy now and again. There's always been this sort of infighting in tournaments in the past, being in the European Championships or the World Cup, etc. But looking at the Senegalese squad, of course, you've got Chelsea's Mendy in goals, whether he'll start or not, because he's been in different form for Chelsea, hasn't he?
He has indeed, but at the end of the day, for Senegal, he's been absolutely superb. Other players you've got to mention.
Cisse, didn't he used to play for Newcastle, or it's not that one?
No, that was Pape Cisse.
Yeah, Pape Abou Cisse for Olympiacos.
Ismail Assar, a massive one from the Championship, of course. You also have Koulibaly, superb.
India for Sheffield United, who we saw in the flesh play last weekend, of course.
Indeed, and they're coming up against the Netherlands side. Well, it is the Netherlands,
of course, Forest too.
A lot of their players go without saying. For example, De Vrij, Matthijs de Ligt as well, Frankie de Jong, just to name a few there. Memphis Depay, superb.
Or Virgil van Dijk as well as... I know he's been missing in recent squads, injuries and all that sort of thing, but he'll return to bolster that defence. Depay has been great for Barcelona and internationally for Holland, and they can mix it up as well because they got Wout Weghorst up front with Burnley last season. Now on, I think he's on loan, is he? Besiktas. So interesting. They got Gakpo in that sort of false line or number 10 spot, going, providing the ammunition for the strikers, the likes of Depay. So
as for prediction, if Sadio Mane was playing in this one, I would have definitely gone for a draw, but I think that's going to really hinder the performance, even though I really do rate Senegal at the moment.
Yeah.
Of course, AFCON winners. I am going to go 2-1 to the Netherlands.
2-1. For myself, though, Nathan, I think because of that defence, okay, De Ligt, all hype around him from a few years ago. I've seen him play against Wales in a back 3 as well. I don't think Van Dijk played in that match when Wales played Holland, did he? So I'm actually going to go for a 2-0 victory to Netherlands to get their campaign off. In the chat, Sports Guide, Mane injured. That's it for the first game. So we think he's going to be ready for the second game for Holland.
Apparently, I heard somewhere it's going to be for the knockout rounds.
Interesting. Kozlov in the Senegalese squad. Malugu, yeah, Mane is out, we believe, for the first match. He may be back then for subsequent games. Harry Doherty's gone for 2-1 victory to Netherlands. Shane's gone for a 3-1 away victory to the Netherlands. The cyber leader, welcome in cyber leader from London. England v Wales. Come on, you whites, we'll see about that. But we're not actually going to be predicting that game, which happens on game day 3. Koza, Kansar versus Virgil van Dijk v Watford versus Liverpool. Yeah, didn't he destroy Van Dijk?
He did, yes.
He did.
That was a ridiculous performance. That was some sort of...
BBL, do you have short eye vision? Well,
yes.
Yeah, it's crept on in the last year. It's, you know, I can see everything fine. It's just reading small stuff on screens, and we've got a lot of small stuff on the screens tonight. So I am wearing glasses. Unfortunately, and Sportcart, I can see that when it has gone for a 2-1 victory. Sorry, a 3-1. See that I need the glasses. A 3-1 victory to Netherlands over Senegal. So we move on from the Monday fixtures over to Tuesday, where we got one of the favourites for the competition, Argentina.
No, we're missing it. We're missing the most important.
Sorry, Nathan. I think you flipped up the screen too quickly there. We've got the USA. This young, vibrant USA squad.
Yeah.
Plenty of vigour, plenty of stamina, plenty of strength, plenty of skill for a USA team. Coming up against a Wales team, you could say a lot of young players, but a lot of aging players. There's a lot of doubts with injuries, like Joe Allen, hasn't played since September. There's always fitness concerns about Gareth Bale. But he says he is fit, but can he last?
Yeah,
you know, he'll probably start this first game because Wales will need to get off to a good start in this group. The likes of Aaron Ramsey as well. Lots of...
But then we've got the young players coming through. Nico Williams, your Joe Morales to add another one.
Brennan Johnson
in defence.
Brennan Johnson. Well, I don't think Vanderlo's going to start somehow.
I think he'll be rode on with the form he's been in as well. Ruben Colwell coming back from injury, which is good.
He'll be on the bench, whether he sees much game time, I'm not sure.
That is true.
In there. But let's have a quick look at the USA squad. Nathan, I don't know if you can get that up on the screen.
Yeah, I put it on the other tab. Let me just...
Yeah, you can drag it.
Click and drag it. Here we go. So... main ones that stick out for me, Timothy Weah from Lille, he's a really good one for the future. Christian Pulisic also, he is actually their star man. A few of the Leeds boys in Tyler Adams, Brendan Aronson.
He's done very well for Leeds this season. You could say Josh Sargent as well. I think he only scored something like 1 goal in the Premier League. He's scored a few more he has scored a few more in the Championship, Norwich in that top 4, but he doesn't, whenever I see him, he doesn't really impress me, and I think that rear guard should be able to, if Sargent starts, which I don't think he will, he might do, then Wales should take care of him.
This is one that sticks out for me massively. Who remembers DeAndre Yedlin?
Yeah, Newcastle. Yeah.
Miami FC, of course, owned by David Beckham. For me, the weakest part of the USA squad
is our defence. That's why I think
massively.
If Wales start, Bale's going to have to start, I think, to get off to a good start. But I think if they put Kiefer Moore on, either later in the match or if he starts, I'd really like to see him start because he works his absolute socks off. And I think against the rear guard of the USA, he will cause them all sorts of problems and issues. But it's going to be an interesting match, this first game in the... let's have a look at the friendlies that the USA have played recently.
Let's have a look. In terms of the chat, let's have a look at what we've got. Good Shane's back in Wales, that's what we love to see. 1-1, I hope Wales get through the group. Though, do the Welsh want England to? Of course we don't. As we always do. Yeah, I think it'll be S2 who does spoil my prediction. I'd predict game 1-1 or 2-1 either way. Yeah, I think this is one of the hardest games of match week 1 because USA want to start strong. Wales 1, USA 2. Sorry, you guys. I disagree with that. I'd say in particular the last few... I'd say in the last year or two, we've actually been carrying Gareth Bale with some of our injuries as well. And
but he does score a lot of important goals. As they say in America, he is the
Mr. Clutch.
Mr. Clutch, as a lot of basketball players are, a lot of ice hockey players. and a lot of American football players. But Nathan, your prediction for this? Actually, we didn't actually have a quick look at the recent results of the USA. I can't see to find them actually.
Yeah, I think it's been a bit slow today.
Oh. If you have a look on
here, some people are buffering, so it's just been a bit slow.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Maybe we've got too many screens open at one time.
Yeah, see, that's not loading. So
here we go. But it hasn't actually. It's got the teams, but no.
You might have put United States in.
United States stats. I don't know what am I doing. United States. Let's have a look. Let's just do a Google thing here, shall we, guys? Actually, United States. Are they actually playing in these matches? No, I don't think they're playing. Wales, Brazil, England. None of these teams are playing. But of course, Iran losing against Tunisia earlier today. But I want to see what the USA's recent football results. I bet it brings up American football now, won't it? Mm-hmm. Football. Here we are. That's not USA, is it? Soccerway. United States. Here we go. Come on. This is great viewing, isn't it, guys? But anyway, in the chat, what are people saying? Nathan, where did you get up to?
Pretty much got through it all.
Cyber Leader, did you mention Cyber Leader?
Yes, just about how Bale apparently is already a world-class player.
Probably right. Ramsey on his day is very good as well. But a draw against Saudi Arabia, El Salvador, a draw 1-1, losing against Japan, a good win against Grenada, the Minnows, a draw against Uruguay. What about their qualification in CONCACAF? Because I think they were finished third in their qualification CONCACAF.
Yeah, I think that's the one, Gold Cup. Because they beat.
There we go. Yeah. A loss against Costa Rica. Okay, Panama, who were in World Cup finals in 2018, wasn't it now?
Yeah.
Good win against Honduras, a loss against close rivals Canada, and a draw against Mexico, and Mexico do well as well. So your prediction then, Nathan, for
first of all,
this...
Danny Ward.
Malugalu.
What a player.
Ward, best goalkeeper going in. Yeah, there is an argument to be made that Hennessy could be starting, because Page does like Hennessy, and he doesn't really... You're going to go for a 2-1 victory to Wales.
Not strong. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to fall it back.
But, Wales' recent results have been like 0-0, 1-1s or 1-0s, etc. We beat Ukraine 1-0, then we sort of sat back, defended a lot. That could happen here against the USA. But if USA take that early lead, then Wales are going to have to open up, throw the kitchen sink at the USA. And I agree. I think Wales will I was thinking about 1-0 earlier in the day for this one, Nathan, but I am actually going to go for a 2-1 victory to Cymru, Wales, in this one. Sportcat's gone for a 1-1 victory, 1-1 draw, I should say. I think there was something in the newspaper in America when they were at the World Cup where USA beat England 1-1. That was the headlines on USA Today or something, which I found very amusing. Yeah, best goalkeeper going in. Koza, agree with Nathan, the US defence looks like a broken wall, and the fact the team haven't spent much time together, like strangers playing together. True. That's right, Koza. I know they're lucky they have got a young team, etc. Looking forward to USA 2026, where they'll have another 4 years together. They could do something at this championships, but it remains to be seen. And Cyber Leader, you froze. Are we frozen now? Or are we still going? Who knows? Out there.
Right, anyway, next
up, we do move to Tuesday, finally. We've got Argentina coming up against Saudi Arabia. I think Argentina won earlier today 5-0.
They did, yes.
They did. So Nathan, talk me through Argentina's squad, because they've got an absolute abundance of talent there.
They absolutely do, and in fact...
If you make that bigger, you can... what is it? Up at the top, if you resize, and then you can click.
There we go.
Argentina at the top.
Yeah, I don't know why it's done that. But yeah, you've got an abundance of talent, which is, got much better since the last World Cup, of course.
Martinez, of course, in goals for Aston Villa Premier League. Martinez has got defence.
I actually predicted on the World Football podcast that he's going to be the player of the tournament.
Yeah, but you've got another Martinez in defence as well. It's Sandro Martinez,
Man United, the little guy. Who else we've got? Also, McAllister from Brighton as well, another great one. Enzo Fernandez, Lionel Messi. Well, that just writes it for himself.
For Roma too.
Yeah.
Alvarez, Man City.
Mendy still flying around there. Foyth from Villarreal, who's played for Spurs as well. Martinez, of course, Aston Villa. What a keeper he is as well. So, as for Saudi Arabia, mainly domestic players, isn't it? But it's still great to see that they're getting in the World Cup, in qualifying consecutive World Cups, which is very good.
I think we might have to close some of these down because it looks like that Mr. Cyber Leader may be having problems with his Wi-Fi, and it could be buffering a lot as well. I apologise for that.
It does look like it's buffering.
If it is, we can move that over there. Are you guys on McDonald's Wi-Fi? Not tonight, no.
Well, who knows? Who knows, really?
So, Nathan, Argentina going into this game against Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, their recent results. What are Saudi Arabia's recent results? Shall we have a quick look, guys? Lots of research on here. So, say, are we... So, Nathan, what do you know of Saudi Arabia then?
Mainly scores full of domestic players. Really lucky that they've qualified for their second international tournament in a row.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really. For me, let's give Argentina a big win here.
Yeah. What are you going to go for? So, they lost recently against Croatia, a draw against Panama. They actually beat Iceland. North Macedonia as well in October.
Iceland's golden generation is sort of over. Sigurdsson's out of there. Aaron Gunnarsson's gone now as well.
If you look at their results, though, they've only losing by the odd goal. There's the last time there was 2 goals in a match was back in February against Japan. But if you look back before that, it was in 2021. There are not a lot of goals in games between anybody between and Saudi Arabia. However, they are coming up against quality opposition, aren't they, in Argentina? So what are your thoughts on Argentina, Saudi Arabia?
I say 6-0 Argentina.
6-0?
6-0.
That many?
Yes.
Even with that defence?
In the opening weekend of Euro 2018, I believe it was 5-1 to Russia in the opening match. Yeah. So I don't have confidence that they're going to be able to do anything against Argentina.
Against Saudi, you mean Saudi Arabia against Argentina? Yeah, I agree. It's the World Cup, though, isn't it? It's their first World Cup match. They're going to be playing Argentina, hotly tipped to even lift the crown, the World Cup. You say 6-0. I'm going to half that. I'm actually going to go for a 3-0 victory to Argentina. Cyber lead, right? Argentina 5, Saudi Arabia 0 from Shane. Harry Doherty has gone for a 3-0 victory to Argentina. Hopefully this isn't buffering for you too much here, guys, because we are on Wi-Fi and not cabled in this evening. But we move on to the 1 o'clock kickoff, and that's between Denmark and Tunisia. And I think Tunisia, they beat Iran earlier this evening. Nathan, tell me about this Denmark squad, because they're actually fancied as a bit of a dark horse, aren't they?
They're definitely getting through their group, and I actually think they're progressing quite far.
Yeah.
Oh, what is going on?
I've got it. So, Denmark, their squad.
Yes, so Dan Scott, Brentford, very good player. Of course, we've got to mention Christian Eriksen as well, Manchester United. Kasper Dolberg, who turned Wales' defence into Rennie Breck.
Højbjerg Spurs as well.
Højbjerg Spurs, very good defensive midfielder. Andreas Christensen of Barcelona.
I didn't really realise Braithwaite. Has he gone from Barcelona now to Espanyol?
Yes, he has.
Interesting.
Also, we've got to mention as well Kasper Schmeichel.
Yes.
Veteran goalkeeper of
Nantes now.
Not now, of course. Years at Leicester City.
Actually, Nice, sorry.
Yeah, Nice. And that's a very we've got to mention Andreas Cornelius, the famous Cardiff.
Yeah, he's going to be up there as well.
Absolutely.
Jonas Wind of Wolfsburg too.
Indeed. Where have I gone? Oh yes, I've got to mention as well, Tunisia, the one thing I will say about them, defensively, very solid, which is pretty much the reason why they qualified for the World Cup in the first place. Yes, they don't score that many, but keeping a solid defence, they can grind out these draws.
Which Manchester United player for him, the one with the wild hair.
Oh, what's his name? Hannibal.
Hannibal, is he still there?
He plays for Birmingham City.
Birmingham, yeah, isn't he on loan? He's on loan there at the moment. But he looks a very skillful player for Tunisia. So what are your thoughts on this Denmark versus Tunisia game?
I think this is going to be tight. I'm going to say 1-0 Denmark.
Yeah, I believe today in Qatar it's 32 degrees.
Yeah,
they've got their air-conditioned stadiums as well over there. So just noticed in the chat that Cos was asking what do you think the playing conditions are going to be like for teams that haven't played in the Middle East, because you could have that dry air. So the likes of Tunisia, possibly some of the African nations, Qatar, they're going to be used to the sort of the desert kind of conditions over there in the Middle East.
Then you have your Waleses, Denmark,
your Scandinavian teams.
Yeah, there's not too many. Probably Japan and South Korea who will also.
Well, it's always quite humid in the East Asian, or Far East. It's always humid over there, but not this kind of, I don't know, a drier sort of. So Denmark, Tunisia, your prediction, Nathan?
Yeah, 1-0 Denmark.
1-0 Denmark. Tunisia, what are we thinking? Can they pull off a shot?
But I don't think so.
I think Denmark are going to get off to a good start, and I'm going to go for 2-0 victory to the Danes in this matching Group D.
Interesting.
I put 2-0 in there.
Yeah, 2-0.
2-0. And back to the chat. Harry's gone for 3-0 victory to Argentina over Saudi Arabia. I wonder, Shane's gone for a 2-1 victory to Denmark. Thinks that Tunisia will score a goal in this game. So moving on to the next fixture. On Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we got Mexico against Poland. Probably, along with the likes of, I think, Wales, USA. Yeah. This is probably one of the tougher matches to predict. Mexico always excite at World Cup tournaments, don't they, Nathan? Poland, we saw Poland recently beat Wales, but they did. Lewandowski wasn't really in that match, but they did actually come through victorious.
Yeah, that referee was an absolute shambles, though. In that
he was. I'm hoping that the referees at this World Cup are going to be a lot better than they were in the sort of the European matches. But looking at the Mexican squad, Jimenez for Wolves, not sure if he's injured at the moment. Lozano's probably their star player who's been doing bits for Napoli. Yeah. Another one, Hector Herrera, who's played for Atletico Madrid. He's a great player. Yes, he's now in the MLS, but that has the experience there. And then, of course, Guillermo Ochoa always turns up at the World Cup in goal. I'm pretty sure he just exists for the World Cup at this point. I'll take it.
What a player. What a player. And then as for Poland, Poland's squad is really top-heavy for me if we just go onto the screen. Of course, we got Milik as well for Juventus, Robert Lewandowski, Golski, I should say.
Matty Cash, of course, of Aston Villa.
He's probably their strongest player defensively, even though he tends to move forward a little bit.
Of course.
Yeah, Bednarek from Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Piotr Zelensky from Napoli as well. That's about it, really, to be honest. Szczesny,
of course, Bielik of Birmingham City, we've seen play in the Championship.
Yeah. So, yes. In terms of this one, Poland really do not impress me, especially seeing them live. Lewandowski in and out of it a little bit, but they need to stop their time wasting and stop. They're really poor performances. I think Mexico, they've definitely got this one for me. I'm going to go 2-0 to Mexico.
2-0. You don't think Poland does score in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mexico always have, as I've said, always seem to turn up in World Cups. I think since something like 86, hang on, this is my Super Brew. You'll have to fill out your Super Brew later on. I think since, is it 86, something like they've always got out of the group. So they're going to have to get off to a really good start against this Poland side. Maybe the conditions will suit a lot of the Mexican players, although they do a lot of them do play in Europe. So I think Mexico will score goals, but I do think this Mexican team will concede as well. I think it's going to be tight, and it could be backs to the wall for Mexico near the end of that match. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 scoreline. The bookies have got it very close as well. 2.7 for Mexico, a 2.75 for Poland, and a 2.95 for a draw. Harry's gone for a 1-0 victory to Mexico. Shane's gone for a 2-1 victory to Mexico as well, the same as me. And we move on to the next fixture, which world champions France winning in Russia, taking on Australia. Can France be the first country in the world to win back-to-back World Cups since Brazil did it way back in 1958 to 1962?
No.
No?
The World Cup
Why is that?
Is remaining ever since, when was it, 2010?
Hello, Sean, can you hear me? I think you can't hear me.
Playing with you. Anyway, I've got to mention France. Spain won the World Cup in 2010 at the group stage in Brazil.
Maybe we are too loud.
It could be Germany, exactly the same, winning it in 2014 by a long distance, absolute calamity in 2018. And I think the same is going to be for France, because that squad is so much weaker. No Pogba, no Kante, remember, in midfield.
Is Pogba actually out of the World Cup?
Yes.
Yeah. But should we have a quick look at the squad anyway?
Yeah, let's have a quick peruse. So if we start off with France, what we got? So Kingsley Coman, Christopher Nkunku, another quality player. Mbappe, of course, we got to mention.
Yeah, could be the start of the World Cup.
Benzema, Griezmann, Giroud's really good going forward. And then you have that defence. Varane, I don't think he's going to start. I think Koundé, all right. Pavard hasn't been great for Bayern Munich. Hugo Lloris, not one of the best players at the World Cup, is he? Upamecano as well, okay for Bayern Munich. Goes to Australia.
But France have got massive Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner, of course. Possibly could be his last World Cup, so he'll want to go out on a high. Maybe win the World Cup. But they've got a terrific squad, haven't they? Of course, there is this massive hole in midfield, though.
True. And then if we look at, of course, Australia, Matty Ryan, who remembers him in the Premier League for Brighton. Who else have we got? Harry Suter for Stoke City as well in the Championship. Agent Aaron Moy as well at Celtic. Who else have we got here? Jason Cummings floating around the lower...
Who's married over in Australia.
Floating around the Football League for all those years as well. Now getting the paychecks in his retirement years in Australia. As for this one, the question is, who do we back? Of course, it's going to be France, isn't it? I think Australia will finish on 0 points. They're going to start strong and drop off. I'm going to go 3-0 France.
3-0 France against Australia. I just want to see how well Australia have done recently. So back to our search button, Australia. Is that how you spell it?
Yeah.
Must be. Come on, let's have a look. And Australia teams. St. Benedict's, welcome in St. Benedict. Really nice to have you in the chat this evening. You've also gone for a 1-0 victory to Poland over Mexico. Harry has gone for a 3-1 victory to France over Australia as well. And I don't think that the World Cup's going to be coming home. Football's going to be coming home there, Sean. But recently a good 2-0 victory over local rivals, you could say. New Zealand, another victory over New Zealand. A victory over United Arab Emirates, but I think they got absolutely destroyed this evening as well. And a victory over Jordan in World Cup qualification. They had to go through that playoff zone where they lost against, let's have a look, 2022, aren't we? Actually, it was postponed against Peru. Where was that?
No, they went on penalties.
They went on penalties, 0-0. So maybe they'll go defensive against this French team, but... Overall, Nathan, your prediction?
3-0 France.
3-0. Yeah, I'm going to go exactly the same as you on this one. I think, actually, can they create a lot? It could actually just be a sneaky 1-0 win. But
I don't think France will disappoint in this tournament.
3-0. Yeah, maybe this will be their biggest victory of the group stage. But we move on. Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, we've got Morocco taking on Croatia.
Another dark horse.
Croatia semi-finalists in the World Cup in 2018. And Morocco, what do we think of Morocco? Let's have a look at their squad. Nathan?
Yep. Of course, main one having Ziyech of Chelsea, of course. Ilias Chair, another great player. He's been ripping it up in the Championship.
He has. QPR. This season, he's been one of the standouts for in the Championship, playing for Queen's Park Rangers.
Mazraoui as well, another one that sticks out at Bayern Munich, and Hakimi, both right backs. They're very right back dominant at Morocco as well.
What about Romain Saïss? Where did he come? He plays for Besiktas at the moment.
I believe he was. Saïss was at Wolves.
Wolves,
I think.
Yes, I think he was.
Apart from that, it's mainly domestic and Spanish league. Harriet of the Marseille is in there as well.
Ziyech really does start playing along with Chair. There was,
very good going forward. That underrated.
Hakimi as well, of course, with Paris Saint-Germain.
That is true. And then we've also got the Croatia squad, which their golden generation is starting to fade out now. Of course, Luka Modric, their star man, Kovacic getting older, Perisic.
Probably Modric's swan song. This could be the World Cup.
Yes, I agree. Just like one remembers Dejan Lovren as well. Now it's St. Petersburg. Aging.
Vlasic of Torino is a very good player.
I agree. This one could go either way. To be quite frankly, I am actually going to go for the first shock of the stream for me. I'm going to go 1-0 Morocco.
1-0 Morocco?
Yes.
Used to the conditions, you could say out there, but whether that makes any difference, I don't know. I'm actually going to go for a draw in this one, and I'm going to go for 1-1.
Interesting. I think Croatia are going to struggle.
And let's have a look at the chat. Right, who are your favourites for the World Cup? I think 10 step. We're going to come to that a little bit later if we've got time.
I said mine on all the podcasts already. Mine is Argentina, Brazil. Either way, a South American country for me is winning the World Cup.
Okay. Malogo saying from Canada, please Morocco get anything in this one against Croatia. That's because, Sunderland vs will have to play off first and then the World Cup. Obviously they do. Morocco 1, Croatia 1. Shane agrees with myself. And Harry's going for 1-1 too. And Wales for the World Cup. I like your optimism there, Alex. So, next up we've got Germany against Japan.
Let's go straight to the German squad. What a squad. Adeyemi, Borussia Dortmund, Thomas Müller, who always pops up with goals. I think he's been around since the 2010 World Cup when he was brilliant as well. Gnabry, Havertz, Gundogan, Goretzka, Mario Götze, of course, Rudiger.
And can I say Musiala, Jamal Musiala for Bayern Munich. I think he's got something like, I'm not sure how many caps. He's got 8 or 12 caps for Germany now. Played against England in that friendly, I believe it was at Wembley. Grew up in England, over in Germany now, and doing great bits in Germany. An array of talent. Can they put it all together? Can they get through this group stage? Probably they can, although it is possibly the group of death, this one.
Yeah, I agree.
But coming up against a Japan side who always seem to do quite well at recent World Cups as well. Who we've got on the Japan side?
Standout player for me is Takefusa Kubo of Real Sociedad. He's a great young player for the future. Minamino, of course, former Liverpool player there as well. Maya Yoshida at Schalke now. He used to be at Southampton, of course, if you remember from a few years ago.
He used to look for Arsenal. I think he's been injured quite a lot this season, hasn't he?
He has. However, this Japan squad, yes, it might not be total quality.
If I just say Matoma, he's only recently broken into that Brighton team, but from the highlights and what I've seen of him, he's done very well this year.
They do play well as a unit, to be fair to them.
Plenty of energy,
of course, as well.
So your thoughts on this game?
Going to have to back Germany, unfortunately. I think Japan will take them a fair way. I'm going to go 2-1 to Germany.
I actually agree. I think Japan will score in this one, but I think the experience, the sort of the pedigree, the array of talent, and they're just like a well-oiled machine when they're on it, aren't they, Germany? So I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory in this one. And in the chat, we've got St. Benedict has gone for a 2-1 victory to Croatia over Morocco. Mark Chapman's in the chat. Hi Mark, hope you are well. Not been on for a while. Eric is at the wheel now. He is. not having the best of time with Mr. Ronaldo, though, is he? Really think Brazil could be. What about England? That was earlier in the chat there. Sean. Shane has gone for 2-2. Desmond's for Germany, Japan. 2-0 for Harry. Alex has gone for a 2-0 victory to Germany. Maloglo, who doesn't want England to do anything? Mark has gone for a 2-1 victory to Germany, same as me. And St. Benedict has gone also for victories for Germany and a 2-0. So moving on to the next match, we've got Spain coming up against, is it Conabal?
Costa Rica.
Yeah, Conabal, Costa Rica from Central America. Spain, always doing well. I know their manager doesn't fancy. Who is it now? I'll come back to it in a moment. But yeah, just run through some of the names in this Spanish squad, Nathan.
Yeah, very young Spanish squad, of course. Ferran Torres of Barcelona, Asensio, Real Madrid, and that little bit experienced.
Morata as well.
Well, Morata's Morata. I do not rate him. Pedri and Gavi, both in their first World Cups. Gavi is definitely one for the future. He is the new Xavi. Same with Pedri, is the new sort of Iniesta. Great players. Rodri and Sergio Busquets as well for experience. Laporte.
The defence is full of experience, though, isn't it?
Eric Garcia, Dani Carvajal, Azpilicueta, even though they're getting on a bit. Jordi Alba as well. Carvajal, yes. No David De Gea. No David De Gea in the squad. Instead going for Unai Simon instead, and Robert Sanchez, who's had a good time at Brighton. And then coming into that Costa Rica side, let's have a look what they've got as well. Keylor Navas really is their star man for PSG. Been around there for years now.
Is their standout player, isn't he?
As for anyone else,
Aguilera at Forest.
Yeah.
Campbell and Lyon playing in the French league.
Mainly MLS and Central America.
So your prediction on this one?
Costa Rica usually turn up. I don't think they're going to top the group like they did in 2014. Of course, England finishing bottom, which was brilliant. I'm going to go 3-1 Spain.
I think they'll concede against Costa Rica. I'll just have a look at the Costa Rican results of a recent. Let's have a look. Costa Rica, where are we? Costa Rica? It's not even in there, is it? Where are we? Let's have a look. Maybe I'll bring up another one. So what are you thinking? So you definitely think that
Spain 3-1 for me. Spain 2-1 Costa Rica, Alex says. Mark Chapman's going for Spain 1-0. Shane McDonald, Spain 1-0. Harry Doherty, Spain 5, Costa Rica 0. Wow.
So Costa Rica beating Nigeria 2-0, a draw against
good result.
Korea. Martinique, they beat 2-0, beating Uzbekistan 2-1. So beat New Zealand. So Panama, okay, they lost against them 2-0. Spain, though, different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. Did you say 3-1?
Yes.
I think I'm going to have to agree 3-1. Or will it be 3-0? Can they get the ball off them? 3-1. I'll go 3-1. Then we move on to Wednesday at 7 o'clock, where we got Belgium coming up against Canada. Belgium, hotly tipped on paper, because you got Kevin De Bruyne, who I think he'll be at the next World Cup as well, if they qualify.
They are starting to fizzle out a little bit, though. Trossard's a great player.
Yeah.
Mertens getting older. Jeremy Doku is great. Ron as well. He's going to be one for the future. Lukaku starting to slow down a little bit now. Carrasco. Who else have we got? Axel Witsel. That's going to be his last World Cup, surely.
Maybe.
Tielemans of Leicester.
On fire for Leicester currently.
That defence, though, is concerning. Really, really weak for me. Vertonghen of Alderweireld there starts a little bit. I'm 35, I'm pretty sure.
Experience, though, isn't it?
That's true. And then Courtois getting older. Mignolet is still in there, of course. Club Bruges now. Casteels is a great player for Wolfsburg, of course. Then coming to look at Canada squad. Anything to add on that?
Not really. Canada, we all know about Canada. Star man is Alphonso Davies.
And David, of course, at Lille. What a player he is. With the experience
of Junior Hoyer.
Yes.
I think is he still captain for Canada?
He is.
Malugu, maybe you could say a little bit in the chat about Canada, your thoughts on where you think Canada are going to finish in the World Cup. Will they struggle? Will they do well? They've done very well with Junior Hoylett at the helm, of course. Well, not at the helm, but as manager. Let's have a quick look at captain at their results, because I think they finished above the United States in qualifying, didn't they? Let's have a look at their recent results. So they drew with Bahrain, a 2-0 defeat against Uruguay, a win against Qatar, the host nation, a loss against Honduras, and a lovely win against Curacao, who, of course, the brothers of
the Bacuna brothers.
The Bacuna players.
Even though one is far better than the other.
In qualification, they lost against Panama, a good win against Jamaica, a loss against Costa Rica, wins against El Salvador and Canada. So your prediction for this one, Nathan?
I think Belgium are going to have a poor World Cup, to be honest, and it is their last year of their main golden generation. I'm going to go 2-1 just to Belgium. 2-1. I'm going to go, I think, attacking-wise, if De Bruyne is on form, okay, got a lot of pace in that Canadian side. I'm going to have to agree. 2-1 or 1-0. But they could destroy them. I'm going to go 4-1. Wow.
4-1.
Wow.
But I think they'll peak then. They'll peak too soon. Then, also on Thursday at 10 o'clock. Actually, when was the previous match for Belgium?
I believe it was.
That was on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So we've got Switzerland against Cameroon. Switzerland have been doing very well lately in tournaments. Cameroon, I think they're possibly going to be the weakest team in this group. So I'm actually going to go for a victory to Switzerland in this one, and I think they're going to sneak through 1-0. Your thoughts, Nathan?
Interesting. Cameroon, very decent squad to be fair, but not the greatest of form. I do fancy that Switzerland squad. Zakaria, main wingman, for example. Yeah. How much is going to be by though? I'm going to say 2-0 Switzerland.
Yeah, and who's the guy who used to play for Liverpool? He always
Shaqiri.
Yeah, he always turns up for international.
He does.
They're very difficult. 1-0 to Switzerland for me on this one. They're very difficult to play against, but this Cameroonian squad, I've had a look at them, but they're not impressing me much on that one. It's just some standout names there for Cameroon, Nathan.
Cameroon, yeah.
We get there. They've got Choupo-Moting, of course. Choupo-Moting, of course, with Bayern Munich.
Choupo-Moting doesn't score anything.
No, and if you've got the likes of Nietzsche in the middle from Swansea playing for you as well, whether he'll get on the pitch, I don't know. And you could be a little in trouble. But yeah, it's.
Bueno is, I think, they're still a man, to be honest.
Yeah.
Brentford's quality player.
Exactly, they've got the Marseille keeper in there as well. So moving on to the next fixture, which is Uruguay coming up against South Korea. Whether Heung-min Son starts, because he may still have that fracture. He might be playing with a mask in this World Cup, I should imagine. But Uruguay, their front line is frightening. It is aging. You've got Cavani, Nunes, Suarez. Okay, Nunes, couple of goals in that victory against Southampton.
Saying that as well, you have a potential player as a tournament candidate in Federico Valverde of Real Madrid as well.
Possibly.
Quality player, Lucas Torreira. Aging a little bit. Yes, he's at Galatasaray now, for example.
Benevere of Napoli.
Bentancur from Tottenham as well. Who else have we got? Sebastian Coates from Sporting Lisbon, great centre-back there as well. Really impressive. And yeah, that's about it really. And then let's have a look at the South Korea squad as well. Of course, got Heung-min Son. Is Hwang Hee-chan in there as well as Wolves? I don't know.
No, I don't think. Yes, he is. Yes. And Kim Min-jae of Napoli, of course.
Yeah, that's about it really. Many other domestic players. And Ju Mong-yong from Freiburg as well.
Whenever South Korea are at these finals, previous World Cups, they always seem to bring plenty of energy, plenty of joy. and everything. But this is going to be close for me.
I don't think so. I'm really impressed by Uruguay. 3-1.
3-1. I'm actually going to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think South Korea from past, okay, they've changed, they haven't got all the players at recent tournaments, etc., but they always seem to bring it in the chat. Let's have a look. Where were we? Harry Doherty's gone for a 2-0 victory for Switzerland. Horza Xhaka is leading like a boss. He is. And I think, of course, he's been playing central sort of midfield, holding room for Arsenal, but I think he's probably better suited in that advanced position. Mark's gone for a 1-1 draw with Switzerland as well. St. Benedict 1-0 victory to Switzerland over Cameroon. Mark's gone for a 2-1 victory to Uruguay. Alex has gone for a 2-0 victory to Uruguay. Shane's gone for a 3-0 victory for Uruguay. And Alex... a bit of banter in the chat. Harry's gone for a 1-0 victory to South Korea, and St. Benedict has gone for a 2-0 victory to Uruguay. So we move on to Portugal against Ghana. Now, Mr. Ronaldo hooking up here.
Has been.
And I've seen a lot of videos online where he's been shaking hands with like Bruno Fernandes or trying to, etc.
Interviews with Piers Morgan, of course, that's going to come out shortly as well. That'll be interesting. Who else have we got aside from that? Rafael Leao at AC Milan. I really rate him as a player. He's class. João Felix, Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Neves of Wolves, of course, Carvalho of Betis. Very good player as well. Nunes of Wolves. Pereira of PSG. Palhinha, of course, he's been very good for Fulham this season.
Midfield.
Rafael Guerreiro as well. Pepe adding the experience with Ruben Diaz and João Cancelo of Manchester City.
Cancelo, an absolute amazing fullback going forward. Diaz, possibly one of the best centre-backs in the world.
Absolutely, and then two very good keepers in Rui Patricio and Jose Sarr as well as a back.
I think it'll be Costa, actually.
Interesting.
Porto, I heard earlier today.
3 very good keepers there.
Yeah.
After that. And then
Ghana
squad. And Naki Williams of Atletico Bilbao, class player he is.
He is excellent, isn't
he? Very, very fitness levels are up there as well. The amount of games he consistently plays, full matches as well.
Andre Ayew of Crystal Palace. Well, he was of Crystal Palace, wasn't he? And Swansea.
Jordan Ayew.
No, he plays for Al Sadd now, doesn't he?
Yes, along with his brother.
Yeah, he plays for Palace.
Andre on the right, Jordan on the left. I do think Jordan is the better player, though.
Thomas Partey's having an absolutely fantastic season for Arsenal.
He is indeed. And other names to mention as well, Tariq Lamptey.
Yep.
I believe England were trying to get him in their squad as well. And Dennis Adoy, another great player, and Marcy of Leicester as well. Interesting one, this one. But you've got to back Portugal, haven't you? I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0. You don't think they'll concede? No, they've got a strong defence, haven't they? And an abundance of talent. Can they concede? You're going 2-0?
Yes.
Can they get more? Will they peak too soon? Will Ronaldo upset the apple cart? I don't think he will, because it's Portugal. It is away from Manchester United. Will he actually move on the pitch as well for Portugal? If things aren't going well, will he throw his toys out of the pram? If he does, then that could signal problems for Portugal. The likes of Bernardo Silva could be a star of this World Cup if he's allowed to shine. Fernandes, hopefully he'll have a good tournament as well. I think I'm going to agree with you, Nathan. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Portugal over Ghana. And then finally, let's have a look what they're saying in the chat. Mark missed, if you are starting a league, I accept. 1-up code is Cash Cup. We'll look for that, Mark. Mark, in the description, link in the description for the Super Blue League, and the code is DEWYELL. That's just announce that again. The code for the Super Blue BBL World Cup Predictions League is DEWYELL. Causa, the Ronaldo interview has all eyes on not just the World Cup but Portugal big time. Shane's gone for a 1-1 draw between Portugal and Ghana, and Alex has gone for a 2-1 victory to Portugal. So
interesting. South Wales is ours, of course. Sure, we've beaten them.
Well, we'll keep to the World Cup.
Yes, we will. Let's keep to
the final fixture of this game round, though. The first game sees,
of course,
probably the favourites, Brazil, coming up against a very, very good Serbia side.
Let's start with Serbia, of course. Got to say, Alexander Mitrovic, of course, ripping it up in the Premier League was unbelievable in the Championship last season. Milinkovic-Savic of Lazio, he's a great player as well.
I think there's
Dusan Tadic of Ajax too, another great one.
Well, the forward line of Mitrovic, Tadic, as you said, of I think he plays for Ajax, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But Vlahovic is the one for Juventus. He's been having a very good season for Juve.
Luka Jovic, former Real Madrid as well.
Indeed.
He used to be, signed for Real Madrid, but ever since then he's just been horrific. Vlahovic as well, of one of the Bremens, another one in there. We've got anything else? Evangelos Milinkovic-Savic of Torino in goals as well. Dimitrovic as well of Sevilla too. Interesting squad. Let's go to Brazil and let's have a look at their absolute star quality. My word.
With Brazil, let me just say, they have got an aging defence in the likes of Thiago Silva, something like 38, something like that. Dani Alves, 38, 39. But in qualification, I think they only conceded 4 goals. Themselves and Argentina, the first time in South American qualification history, they didn't lose a match between them. Indeed, Brazil didn't lose a match, neither did Argentina. In the game that they played against themselves, it was a draw. The other one was called off because of, I'm not sure, political reasons, or wasn't it a pitch invasion and they had to call it off? But just look at some of the names in this. Vinicius Junior could be an absolute world beater. That's even before we get onto the likes of Neymar, Nathan.
Oh, absolutely. Where do we? Rodrigo, Real Madrid, Rafinha, Richarlison,
who does play
Man United as well. Vinicius Junior, Emerson Ribeiro, getting some domestic players in there.
Martinelli for Arsenal has been probably Arsenal's one of their biggest threats going forward. Has made them tick a lot this season.
Absolutely, another good one for the Newcastle fans. Bruno Guimaraes as well.
Probably would get into thus far in the Premier League team of the season, perhaps.
Absolutely. Marquinhos as well at PSG, always at the present there. Dani Alves still knocking around as well. Right back, and then Edson and Alisson, 2 quality keepers.
Exactly. So your prediction for this one, Nathan?
Mitrovic is going to get a goal, but Brazil are going to get a lot more. 4-1 Brazil.
4-1, wow. Yeah. The thing with World Cups, though, the team who doesn't start off too well, they slowly build up momentum, usually goes on and win it. If Brazil start off as a house on fire, they could well do it. They could go all the way through to the final as well. It could burn out. Thank you, Mark. I see you just joined the Super Brew the league. Thanks for that. I think Brazil will beat Serbia. Serbia, I believe they beat Portugal in qualification in the qualification, which meant that Portugal had to come through the back door via the playoffs, and Serbia actually qualified from UEFA as that group's winners. So they're no pushovers. However, coming up against a Brazil side who are widely tipped to become world champions, I'm going to have to go for a 3-1 victory to Brazil. So that concludes our predictions for game week 1. There they are on the screen. We will be doing another live stream probably next Wednesday for game week 2 as well, where we'll be halfway through these fixtures, or halfway through game week 1. So we'll only have 1 or half a week's game data to go on. But what the guy's saying in the chat is that Mark Chapman thinks Brazil are going to win 3-1. Shane thinks they're going to win 3-1. St. Benedict 3-2 against Serbia. Harry Doherty has gone for a 2-1 victory against Brazil. Because Serbia's issue at home are surely going to be a distraction. Yes, they could well be. Should never be ranked outside the top 20 ever. That is very interesting as well. And actually, going back to Wales, England group, USA and Iran, I think all those teams are in the top 20. It's called the group of death. I don't think that is the group of death, because I think that the group of death is probably Group C for me, although Group E is very strong as well. Group F, all these groups are very strong.
I gotta say that Group C, I wouldn't say so actually. Poland's very, very poor. Saudi Arabia, not the best either, and then it's Mexico, Argentina, really, and that's it. For me, it's Group E as well.
And sorry to say, maybe that Canada result against Belgium, maybe I am being a little bit too, a little bit harsh on Canada there. I know, Mallory, you think it's going to be 1-1. It could well be. This is the World Cup, and there's always plenty of shocks. Maybe that 4-1. Lukaku, is he actually playing for Inter Milan at the moment? Don't know. Indeed. But, maybe Canada can pull up trees, especially with them hosting or co-hosting the World Cup in 2026. Nelson Alfredo, USA will beat Wales. I hope not, but they could. St. Benedict has gone, Senegal won. Netherlands won. So, Nathan, before we go for this evening, before we let everyone go, and welcome in if you're from Australia, because I know it's something like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in Australia, and I know that a couple of people were getting up for this live stream as well. Can we put ourselves in big mode?
Yes. I think the only one I might be able to do as live stream wise is unfortunately going to be that USA game. I definitely won't be able to do Iran, and I definitely won't be able to do England, unfortunately, because we aren't.
What about on Sunday? Because there's going to be plenty of matches like Argentina and
I'll see what I can do. So we'll chat in the description below.
So maybe I could join you on your live stream rig.
We'll wait and see. Yeah.
Fantastic. So.